Hi guys, Kaiser here, and welcome back to Iron Kaiser Gaming. If you've been following the Age of Empires 3 scene for a while now, you probably know the name Samurai Revolution. He is a content creator that has put out videos for Age of Empires 3 Classic and Definitive Edition for years now. And he seems like a really nice guy. He's got a good style to him. I really enjoy his videos. He is a fellow brother in Christ, and that means an awful lot to me. And he also puts out some really interesting build orders. I've heard tell that he's planning on retiring at the end of the year, or maybe he's got 1 year left of Age of Empires 3 casting and video making before he decides to hang it up for good. At least that's how I understand it. And so, what I thought would be fun is for my next AoE 3 video to go ahead and take one of his build orders and try it out on the ladder. See how well it works for me. So, I've got it in the link below. This is the Russian fast musket strategy. Our objective is to get up to 14 villagers, immediately take up to age 2, get a forward barracks up, and just start spamming out muskets. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, as we're watching the game here, that I tried this strategy multiple times. I played 3 or maybe 4 games with the, fast musket strat, and I must be doing something wrong, because I believe this is the only game where I actually pull off an age up on 14 vills. Every other time, somehow I would just time the food wrong. Even though I'm rushing all of the vills onto food, I would somehow time my food wrong, and I'd end up, either embracing an idle TC, or I would have to, go for that 17 vill tech up. But, and I'll say this too, I brought a lot of flexibility into the fast musket strat, which we'll actually see in this game. But I gotta say, I won every single match trying this strat. Now that could be luck, or it could mean that this is a really solid build. So, while we're getting out our 12th, 13th, and 14th villager as the Russians, let's talk a little bit about our cards. Now, I am following the Samurai Revolution build. This is the version that he shared on his website, and so when you go to the link below, this is what you will see, right? I believe that there's room for optimization. I think, especially with the new cards that they've released in the last couple of years, there's probably a way to do this better. But then again, I do not claim to be any kind of expert at Age of Empires 3. So, I can't speak with any authority on that one way or the other. My opponent, B. Holmes, is playing as the Maltese, one of the new civilizations with the Knights of the Mediterranean expansion pack. I really enjoy the Maltese. They are a fun civilization. I did not happen to catch this during the game, but one thing that you should always do is pull up your opponent's deck and see what their deck is, and that can give you a sense as to their general strategic game plan, right? Take a look at this. You see how everything is economic? Settlers, what is this? Settler wagons, exotic hardwood, rum distillery, and then Wignacourt. Just a lot of bonuses and techs. No units at all in this deck. And what that means is, not that I realized it, but my opponent, Holmes, is perfectly set up for this strat, because he will not be able to fall back on any cards in order to defend himself from my musket spam. Here we go. So, okay, once I've hit, I'm in the middle of teching up to the next stage, right? So I leave 4 vills on food. I need to put 2 on gold, and I had at the time, it should have been 6 on wood. Wait a minute, did I go up to 17 vills again? Look at that, I thought I went to 14. So this right here, every single time I've played this strategy, I cannot tech up with 14 vills. I'm wondering if I'm supposed to leave my TC on idle time for a while, if that's the shtick. I get out a late good luck have fun, but I always like to share a good luck have fun. Keep the game part of the game going. All right, And following Samurai Revolution's build, we're going to send 700 wood next. So I got distribution, trickle of wood. Now we're sending 700 wood. And the objective for that is to get out another blockhouse, get out some houses, and then probably spin that off into maybe some trade posts, or you know, you start building up for the castle age and get out some artillery, right? Our goal, you'll notice right here, Holmes is actually ahead of me, so he's got 6 more vills than I do. Our objective with the musket rush is to get out at least 10 units and then go on the attack. And I gotta say, muskets pack a surprising punch. Something about my AoE 3 strategy, I tend to prefer skirmishers as my opening move. I don't play musketeer a lot, and I think that's because most people play infantry. So if you play musketeer, you either go musket, in which case it's just even and it's about numbers, or you go musket and then they go crossbow or skirmisher or whatever, and they have an advantage on you. So I have historically avoided muskets, but playing the Strat, I gotta say, they're actually pretty cool. Now this is a little bit of a weird moment. Alright, I just got up to 20 vills, he is stuck on 20 vills as well, not producing anything. He's actually sniping my muskets. I'm frustrated. I'm like, how much range does this town center have? It is the most obnoxious thing. And I didn't really get any kills. He retreated back. I'm losing guys. I'm kind of frustrated. I sort of feel like maybe I've bungled this. But this whole time, those vills were just left in the town center. And when the vills are left in the town center, they are as good as dead. They are not producing anything for Holmes, for the Maltese. So right now, I'll give him credit. He's got, you know, a score lead for now. Let's see what we can do with this. I say this with every Age of Empires game. Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 3. If I were to cast Age of Empires 4, it'd probably be the same way. I like to keep the camera on the military action. You know, you watch what's going on up here and the shooting and everything. But the game is really won or lost with the eco. I've got in the background more and more and more vills coming out. Meanwhile, he is distracted by this attack. Good thing is the sheer number. Now, crossbows do counter musketeer, right? So he's building the right kind of unit, but I have sheer numbers. And of course, the thing that is nice about musketeer too is he can't really make a switch into cavalry against these guys. So he's got to stay on infantry, and in the long run, that'll work out for me. Yep, more eco. I got 26 vills. I got more coming out. He's on 22. Notice, by the way, I did take the time to build a second blockhouse. And so I am able to spam out infantry quickly. And this is a moment where I felt like I needed to make a switch. And maybe somebody in the comments can kind of weigh in on this, because the initial strategy is theoretically get a lot of kills with the musketeers and just keep on massing more and more and more and more muskets. But I sort of realized, wait a minute, my opponent is going heavy into crossbowmen, right? He's just going all in crossbows. If I go musketeer, I'm punishing myself, right? If I go Strat, well, that's a skirmisher versus skirmisher. They don't really get bonuses against each other, so that's a fair unit that at least I won't be punishing myself like I would be if I were doing musketeer. And then let me see if I actually have this coming. I also have Cossacks in my deck. And if my opponent goes heavy into crossbows and I've got Cossacks, ouch. Ouch. Holmes is in trouble. So this is the moment where, at least temporarily, I sort of abandon. Now, I love keeping the musketeers in the group. Why? Because in the event that he were to decide to go cav, right, to pick up the cavalry, I have musketeers to deal with that. But right now, I'm leaning heavily into the Strelets. Look at these bill numbers. I got a 4 bill advantage. Cossacks coming in. This is going to be awesome. And it is as if he suddenly realized, wait a minute, I've been kind of letting my eco go. Yeah, right here. So the Strelets, the skirmishers, they have great mass, you know, a lot of numbers, but they're not very strong. And so crossbows, if it's even, crossbows versus Strelets, even though crossbows are historically kind of a weaker unit, yeah, they'll beat Strelets. But I got Cossacks on the way. The perfect card for this situation. He's got 14 to my 5. Now, while I'm on the offense, and I'm clearing up all of these crossbows, right, I'm also taking up to the next stage. And the game plan, you know, I've still got those vills that I sent earlier to build the forward barracks. They're still here, just sort of chasing away this herd of deer, just to make it a little bit harder for Holmes to do his thing, right? Yeah, crossbows have been wiped up. I got sentinels, which is the Maltese version of the musketeer. They are a really cool unit. They get bonus stats when they are next to Maltese buildings. So he wipes up my Cossacks, but not before my Cossacks completely handle those crossbows, right? So at this point, the general Samurai Revolution strat was kind of wood, and then I believe it was, if I remember right, let me double check this. I think he wanted me to send gold next, but, you know, any build, even one here where I purposefully kind of followed exactly his strat and did not make any changes, you need to be adaptable with your build. Food made a lot more sense than gold. So I sent the food. Alright. I am up to the Fortress Age. Holmes is in the Commerce Age. Got a lot of food. Good for him. Kind of stuck with the gold. Why? Because he had to go heavy. Excuse me. He had to go heavy into the crossbows. Aha. Yes. Strelet. More Strelets. Alright, so I got mostly Strelets, got a couple of Musketeers. I'm going to be making a shift back over to Musketeer, because once I get out some Falconets, and I'm doing two things. I've got my Artillery Foundry. I'm going to produce 2 Falconets from the Artillery Foundry, and then I just sent 2 from my home city, right? So I get them kind of linked up with each other. I'm going to have 4 of them. That is the perfect anti-infantry, you know, artillery piece. So I've kind of already got the anti-infantry covered, so now that I have enough Strelets, I'm going to go back to Musketeer. Getting that veteran Strelet upgrade. Don't they look cool? You gotta love it. Yeah, so he's got 2 barracks up of his own. He's trying to produce crossbows. He's trying to produce Strelets, and kind of, you know, trying to match me mano a mano, which I think would be fair if I were just, you know, going Strelet. But once artillery enters the field, infantry is just not going to be your option. I'm targeting the commandery first, and I'm doing that because, 1, it's in the way. 2, it actually is their cavalry producing building, and I would like to keep them from being able to produce cav. If I can force them to stay on infantry, that's a win for me. Meanwhile, back at home, remember, keeping the eco going. I'm at 38 villas, his 29. For some reason, I don't have anybody on. Yeah, using the Cossacks to kind of try to find some free settlers to pick off. Strelets engaging the sentinels and the crossbows. If I can get artillery in range, I can make a mess of these Maltese units right here. Cossacks moving in to assist on wiping out these crossbows. In general, there are exceptions, but in general, you want to try to knock out the army first, and then prioritize the infrastructure. Right? There are exceptions, like it might be worth it to prioritize and take down a factory. But in this case, yeah, just knock out those crossbows. Town center going down. I did pick up a tech called Ransack, infantry attack versus buildings increase, which is really nice, especially when you have a unit like the Strat, where it's all about quantity. You know, if you give each Strat even one more siege attack, well, when you have a huge, massive Strelets, that adds up. At this point, I'm at 41 Vils. He is down to 23. This is a tough situation to be in. Now, I'll give him credit. I did not know the commandery was here, so he's got Hussar on my artillery. That stings, and it just sort of highlights, by omission, why Ruskets, Russian musketeers, is such a great choice, because these Strelets were having a really hard time with taking out those Hussar effectively. Musketeer would have done a way better job. I think these Musketeer got there a little too late. If I remember right.
Hey, where you? Hey.
Notice how the Strelet, has less than 100 HP. The veteran crossbowmen have like 142. That just kind of is one example. You look at the attack damage. You look at actually the siege damage is better, probably because of my card. But they are overall a weaker unit. So it's all about quantity with them. Yeah, Holmes is in a tough situation here, for sure. I mean, at this point, what do? I got 47 Vils. He's got 23. And this just goes to show, I mean, at this point, the game is looking over, right? Excuse me. The game is pretty much over. Holmes, he's lost his only town center. He's lost a bunch of Vils. He's sort of relocating up into my half of the map. And if you're having to do that, you sort of know you're in trouble, right? I also happen to see him. Let me see if I can... Yeah, my town center can actually see these Vils, so I know where he's at. And this leads me to make a mistake. I got my 6 Musketeers and then my 27 Strelets. For some reason, I send the Musketeers north to deal with the infantry and just leave the Strelets to their fate. That's dumb. I'm going to lose a lot more guys than I need to. From 27, I'm going to go all the way down to... I think it's like 11, if I remember right. It's not a good situation in that sense. But, regardless, I mean, that just goes to show, kind of pick up those Musketeers. They're useful. Keep the protection going on the Musketeers. Which is what I'm doing here. And now I just want to kind of bring this thing home. And I happen to catch him building that second town center. Again, for me, I did not build a lot of Musketeers. I did not know that they hit this hard. This is pretty great. Like, against Vils, they're cleaning them up pretty fast. And on top of that, to know you don't have to worry about Cav. It's just a win-win. Yeah, so this one, he lost even more Vils. Now he's down to 17 to my 50, right? Because I got 2 town centers up. It doesn't show up as often in Age of Empires 3 as in Age of Empires 2, but if you can build multiple town centers and produce out of them, you will make your economy much, much stronger. At this point, I've picked up the Halberdier card, just to sort of why not keep the mask going, and I know that I've got this game in the bag. At this point, not that I can see the numbers, but I know he's done for. So I'm just going to take my infantry and kind of stress test myself. You know, how effective are Russian infantry with the ransack card? What is this? We've got 11 halberdier, 4 musketeer, 5 Strat. Yeah, I see the cav coming in. This is sort of a last gasp effort for him, but I got halberdier. Guess what? Halberdier will be pretty effective against cav. Not to mention musketeer. That's like a 1-2 punch of anti-cav. Yeah, he's just sort of caught. Ouch. 8 wood. There it is, and it calls the GG. And again, that was just one game. I played multiple games, and they all looked very different. Most of the time, I had to go up to 17 vills, so I think I'm missing something when it comes to my timing and getting those vills on food faster and faster. I must be doing something wrong, but it's been working as a 17 vill age up. You know, you got to be flexible, kind of read the situation, read the map. This game really worked out. Every game I've played with this Civ so far, again, 3 or 4 games, has been really nice. So, thanks Samurai Revolution for the build and for, you know, all the videos. It's been a lot of fun to watch them and kind of, you know, check it out from a distance. So, I will link his channel in the description. You can go ahead and check out some of his stuff. And that's it for me. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to it, comment on it. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser, signing out.